I turned 52 a couple of months ago. And as a woman going through, I've sort of just gone through the menopause
Yes.
and finding things are very different the older you get in life. And, I'm always trying to slow down the aging process. I'm keeping healthy, going to the gym pretty much every day. I go for walks. I've got quite a sort of nutritionally good diet, I think. I'm not going to say I'm super good all the time. I do have a bit of an 80-20 rule. I do like my chocolate. There are a little bits of naughty I do put in there. But I've really come to realize how important hormones are on us. And I was on the pill for about 30 years
Mm.
and obviously come off it only recently, and actually gone on to HRT. And I'm only reading now what potential damage that could have done to me.
Mm.
Um, what can you talk around sort of the hormonal issues
Yeah.
and what the pill potentially is doing to us?
So hormonally, you're absolutely right. We are governed by our hormones very much, and as women, we s- so much of our experience of life is governed by hormones. They're very, very powerful compounds within our body, and the loss of hormones or too much of hormones, we feel it. I don't think there's a woman on this planet who hasn't experienced the effect that hormones can have on our mood or our weight or our irritability or our feelings of emotions. And you're crying and you think, I don't know even why I'm crying. I just feel emotional. And so really working with your hormones and recognizing the peaks and troughs of hormones and how we almost change as a person throughout the month as our hormones are shifting. And then as we go through perimenopause and into menopause, that shift in estrogen, particularly, how that plays its part in our brain health is probably one of the biggest, most important areas. I think women going through the later stages of perimenopause and getting through menopause, it is essential that women understand that metabolic flexibility, i.e., your brain's ability to use glucose for fuel, but also use ketones for fuel, is so important for protecting the brain against neurodegeneration. What this means in a nutshell is as we lose estrogen, estrogen helps get sugar from the bloodstream into the brain cells. As we lose estrogen, we lose some of that ability, which is why at menopause we can feel very brain fogged and have memory issues and anxiety and all of these things that are going on in the brain. You're like, what is going on with my brain? Now, as the brain calibrates or recalibrates to this shift in estrogen, it happily carries on post that shift in estrogen, and you can feel pretty good again. If there's an underlying insulin resistant state, in other words, if your brain is still struggling to get glucose in because your insulin's no longer working at its best, that's when the brain can really start to lack fuel. That's when you can start to feel the long-term effects. So being able to burn body fat for fuel as well as mop up glucose as and when is so important for protecting against the neurodegenerative conditions that women are most vulnerable to, which includes Alzheimer's. So being aware of the power we have over our long-term mental well-being and physical protection of our brain, giving it the essential fatty acids it needs, making sure it has adequate nutrients, vitamin D, zinc, B vitamins, vitamin C, all of these really important sources of nutrients that the brain needs, as well as fresh air and good sleep. Good sleep is fundamental for brain health as well, and exercise, are these really important pillars for our female brain and protecting our female brain from what is incredibly common and becoming increasingly common, Alzheimer's in women and neurodegenerative conditions. Now, in terms of the pill, so the body has to eliminate used hormones, and ensuring that your body eliminates these metabolized hormones happens via the liver, the gut, and the bowels. So keeping your liver in a really optimal state keeping your gut health optimally, because believe it or not, there are some microbes in the gut that when the liver's metabolized or kind of tagged estrogen ready to be disposed of, the gut can come along and untag it so that the body can reabsorb it. And this is not good news for our body. We do not want that recirculation of used estrogen. So looking after our liver, making sure our liver health is optimal, our gut health is optimal, and our bowel movements are optimal. These three areas of keeping your detox pathways optimal, so important for balancing out estrogen, but really protecting us from the female cancers that can be driven by estrogen dominance.
I mean, is there a way that you can, I mean, obviously I don't know what damage I've done, but it was literally 30 years on and off sort of being on the pill. And I didn't know of these. The worst was, there was a few side effects, but I thought I could, I managed to get on one that didn't give me many side effects. But now I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I might have been doing all these other things in my life to improve my health. But the one thing that I was taking every morning was probably causing me damage. Is there any way that you can reverse that?
Absolutely. Our bodies are incredibly intelligent and they're very forgiving. We do a lot of things that upset our bodies, and like diligent friends, they work hard to restore balance and become healthy again. So with long-term use of the pill, often you can be depleted in zinc. It's one of the common depletions, magnesium, and some B vitamin depletion. So it's really looking at, okay, what could I be depleted in? Zinc is a really common one, and zinc affects our gut acidity and our gut health as well. So I would say just look at potentially making sure you're getting enough nutrients in. You may need to just give your body a little bit of support with a high quality supplement of, say, zinc and magnesium. You're already on magnesium. But then just looking at your liver. Liver is a very important area. And again, the liver is so forgiving. Our liver is the workhorse of the body, but it is also the organ that's most willing to regenerate and recover if it's given the right circumstances. So the liver loves a low sugar diet. It loves intermittent fasting. It loves milk thistle. NAC is a supplement I use readily for my liver and supporting my liver's function. And I actually use milk thistle regularly as well, because I love the impact milk thistle can have on our bile production, our general liver health, and those detox pathways. And then cruciferous vegetables, things like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, sprouts. The liver loves sulfur-rich vegetables because it uses it as part of the detoxification stages.